Okay, so I'm here with some bananas and the world's first heated steering wheel for the Jeep Wrangler JK and JKU. It's got the same spline count. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's got the same spline count as the other one that I've been running, both flat bottom, both red stitching. Now the center line on this one's thicker than the center line on this one. You guys can kind of see that now. But I do prefer the one. I prefer the one that's thinner personally, because it's not as eye-catching as this one is over here. It's not as loud. I love the thumb rests on both of them. No correction. I love the thumb rest on this one. This one's got a real nice thumb rest right here. It feels really, really good. But this one here doesn't have that. There's no indentation for the thumb rest. See that? This one's got the indentation. This one has no indentation. But they both have this piece out here, this wider area on the bottom of it. I believe that this one on the left is thicker. Let's see if can I wrap my fingers all the way around? Yeah, so I can barely wrap my middle finger around on this one. Oh, okay, something else I noticed. This one doesn't have this piece here. So that's interesting. This one's got a bigger piece there. Right on. Yeah, I think this one's fatter. I'm trying to get a feel for it. Yeah, I can wrap my middle finger, but it won't touch. My middle finger doesn't touch on this steering wheel when I fully wrap around it. Now I prefer the one that's thicker, of course, and realize that you guys are going to make "that's what she said" comments. Here I can wrap my middle finger around and it'll touch my skin right there. So yeah, the one on the left is thicker. Does that give any idea? I guess maybe if I stack them together. Yeah, let's try stacking them together. I'm gonna have to cut this video here in a moment. But yes, the spline count on both are the exact same. Let's flip them over. One of the other things that I like on here is this one's got finger grooves. Now this one does too. I'll show you that in a second. This one's got the finger grooves up here up top, but it does not have the finger grooves on the bottom. And these finger grooves are pretty deep, and I'm a big fan of that. I like something that I really like the finger grooves on the one on the right, but I'm not going to keep the one on the right. I'm going to sell it. And by the time that you watch this video, it'll probably already be sold. Okay, hold up. This one feels lighter, even though it's thicker and it's got a heated steering wheel in it. That's interesting. Right? Yeah. No, dude, this one feels much heavier. I wonder why that is. That's strange. Dude, this one's so much easier to pick up. That's wild. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. Let's get this film flipped over here. Man, I would have thought that this one, because it's thicker and it's got the heating element. By the way, I have no idea how I'm supposed to wire this. There's 3 black wires and 1 red wire. Does it take 5 volts? Does it take a full 12 volts? If I give it 12 volts and it's only supposed to have 5 volts, is it going to pop? Does this thing even have a fuse? You know what I mean? This just looks like coils in here. It's not going to... Can't get it to focus. But yeah, I don't know what this is for. I thought that there might be a fuse here, but I'm not seeing that. But yeah, both of them have the holes that are required to fit. This one sounds like it may be hollow when I compare it to this one. So that's interesting. That might have something to do with the weight difference, but you can see the thickness that I'm talking about here. between these two. I wish that this one had the finger grooves on the bottom the way that this one does. It does feel really good in the hand. Now, of course, it has the finger grooves up here up top. And I guess they're about the same thickness. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, here's more. My bad. Okay, so here's some more finger grooves on this side too. Anyway, so yeah, this is nitpicking, right? These are first world problems. I wish that this one had more finger grooves on it. I love how thick this one is. I prefer the thickness of it on this guy. I got to figure out how to wire this. That's going to be the God knows how many hundreds of dollars I'm going to end up spending. I'll probably have to get a Grand Cherokee, because I know that the Grand Cherokees, I think it was like 2013, had the same steering wheel buttons as the Jeep Wrangler JK did in 2012 through 2018 on the Jeep Wranglers. So I would imagine that it's possible to retrofit a Grand Cherokee over to a Jeep Wrangler JK or JKU. And I forget the name of what they call that, the clock spring. I wonder if I could retrofit a Jeep Wrangler. Let me phrase that. I'm wondering if I can retrofit a Jeep Grand Cherokee clock spring on this guy in order to get the heated steering wheels to work. I really need to know what these wires do. Why are there 4 of them? You know, I figured one would be for power and the other one would just be ground, but I've got 4 wires here. I'm not exactly sure what to do. Let me go ahead and cut this video. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to cut it and show you the thickness of each of these when I got them both together. And we're back. So with the magic of YouTube editing, we've got the steering wheel sitting next to each other. And I don't know if you can tell in the video. I'm looking at my phone right now, and I can't tell the difference in thickness here on my phone. But in person, yeah, in person I can tell you that the one on the left is thicker. Yeah, there you go. That's a better view. Yeah, you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. Also in person, the one on the right looks like a lighter black, and the one on the left's got more of a richer black. The stitching here on the left one, the thicker one that I'm going to end up keeping on the heated steering wheel, the stitching starts lower than the stitching does up here on the top. But suffice to say, they're both the same on spline count and yeah, on the Skeletor or whatever this thing's called. I'm sure you guys will correct me in the comments. Big fan of the stitching. I like the red. It's very subtle, having a little bit of red, and my seats are going to end up being red as well. I'll have some red stitching in my seats, so that'll match. But yeah, man, if you guys have questions, please let me know. Also, if you guys know the answer of how I'm supposed to wire this thing up, if it takes 5 volts or 12, because if I know if it takes 5 or 12, then at that point I can do the retrofit. I wouldn't even need a Grand Cherokee clock spring, to be honest. I would probably just run this so that it would turn on whenever I hit the heated steering wheel on the or whenever I press the button for the heated seats. Then I could just I could tap into that button and turn on the heating element, but I have to know if it's 5 volts or 12 before I wire this thing up. I just don't want it to pop.